Welcome back into Boston has entered the chat. You know, Case, ever since I got here 3 years ago, Red Sox, Yankees, it don't hit like it used to when I was growing up. But you look now, the matchup starting tonight, oh, it's back. Red Sox Yankees is back. This series means everything. No excuses for these Sox, Case.
Yeah, this season reignited the rivalry big time. I mean, from the first showing, honestly, it's been a lot of excitement, but also a really intense series to watch unfold.
No doubt. Let's bring in my main man, Nat Gordon from the Play Tessie podcast. We love him here. Gordo, I'm starting right there. You heard me. Rivalry is back. Do you feel that way, A? And B, momentum right now. I mean, the Sox have lost 3 straight. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Yankees, hotter than fish grease right now. Are you concerned with momentum here? How do you sort of see this series playing out?
Well, it's obviously a huge series. You can't get around that. This is the biggest Sox-Yankees series probably in years.
Yeah.
You start the series a game and a half behind them. Yankees are playing some of their best ball of the year. The Red Sox have lost, as you said, 7 of 10. They're really just a hot and cold team. Like, they won 10 in a row, then they lost 5 of 7, won 10 of 12. Now lost 7 of 10. It really is going to be, you're going to have to pick up the pieces and do it fast, because with a 4-game series, if it doesn't go your way, like if you get swept in the series, you're 5.5 back of them. Like you can wild card game goodbye, or a home wild card series goodbye. But if you 3 out of 4, you're right there, not just in the mix for that first wild card spot, potentially the division, and you're really in a good position to make the playoffs. So it's as big as it comes.
Yeah, you mentioned hot and cold. We talked about it a little bit off air, but like heading into such a big series such as this, where do you need to see them find a little bit more consistency? Because we never know what's going to be the demise of some of these losses that they've accumulated.
Well, it really is going to start with the bats. And I know the Yankees offense has been red hot, so you're going to need your horses to really come out firing. But with the offense, they've scored 3 runs or less in 5 of their last 6 games. And you saw it the other day. It really is about runners in scoring position. I mean, that Tuesday game, they leave the bases loaded 3 straight innings at the end. And, oh, my God, like all it really took was 1 big hit with the bases loaded, and that game goes a completely different way. Red Sox fans are feeling completely different heading into an off day, and you're feeling much better entering a series against the Yankees only down a half game, but that's just not the way it played out. But these guys are going to have to lock it in and really bring their A game to Yankee Stadium, because those fans are going to be on their feet. Those fans are going to be crazy. So you're going to have to put together good at-bats. That siren's going to be playing when there's 2 strikes, and they're really just going to have to lock in and get ready to go.
You know, we're all talking about the same word of consistency, and we've all watched this team all year, and it doesn't seem like anything can match up at the same time, and when it does, it's fleeting. What I mean is the bats will be there, Gordo, but then the pitching's sketchy, or vice versa. As we sort of all talk about this, how do you see consistency being consistent? In other words, do you see this team putting it all together at some point? This would be the time to do it, obviously, down the stretch. You could start here with this series. How do you see that playing out? How can this team find consistency?
Well, you've seen it multiple times this year, and when it does all click together, like they are an unbeatable team, and you've seen it at home. 41-25 at home. Ooh. Obviously, this series is on the road, but I mean, you've seen this team pitch when their starters go 6 innings and their bullpen's rested, and the offense is doing what it's capable of. They're a really, really tough team to beat. And you know, sometimes, as you said, it's fleeting. Like it's not there all the time. Like, this is a young team, and you've seen ups and downs. They do go hot and cold, but that's why it's so tantalizing. Like, if this team gets into the play, I really think they're gonna get into the playoffs. Yeah. So when they're there, it's just it's you can't stop thinking about, wow, if they play like they did in that 10-game win streak, or when they won 10 out of 12 after the All-Star break. Like, they've had multiple runs like this, and if they can put it together at the right time, they really are capable of beating any team in this American League and making a run. But it's just, what version of the Red Sox are you gonna get? And when?
Yep.
Well, one of the other big units we got to talk about is the bullpen. Loving to get your opinion on this, because collectively they're sitting at about a 4.36 ERA, but we've seen moments where the bullpen has been taxed, and we weren't expecting that to take place. That wasn't the original strategy of the game, and then they kind of have to make up for it on the back end. So what do you make of the bullpen so far? Because Cora stands by the fact that it's still one of the best in the league.
Yeah, Kasey, I actually think it's a pretty good unit too, but they got kind of cute with some of these guys they brought up. Like you had Moran up there, you had Isaiah Campbell up there, and some it's just been the bottom of the bullpen that has really cost them. I mean, on Saturday, Isaiah Campbell comes into a 5-run lead, can't hold it, so they have to go to Chapman. Makes him unavailable for Sunday. Now Sunday comes around, you have a 1-run lead in the 9th. Chapman's not available, so you have to go to Weiser in a spot that maybe he's not best suited for. He gives up the homer, you lose that game. So, and that's happened too many times this year where your mop-up guys have created situations where you got to go to Chapman. And it really hadn't bit you until this point, but it was good to see they brought back Bernardino, who, in my opinion, probably never should have been sent down. You bring up Richard Fitz into a relief role, which is very interesting because he was throwing 98, touched 99 as a starter. So this is a guy who could hit triple digits as a reliever potentially. We haven't seen him pitch in that role yet, so it remains to be seen, but that's in there. And then you've got Justin Slayton really, really close to a return. I thought he might have been able to return for this Yankees series. Seems like he'll get maybe 1 or 2 more rehab outings, but that's one of your best relievers. So yeah, the bullpen has been spotty lately, but they're bringing in reinforcements from within that I think are going to help turn this unit around.
Gordo, do you believe in the Yankees or are they just hot? Because right now, I mean, they won 5 in a row, right? They just broke this home run record in the sweep of the Rays.
In a game.
14 home runs in 2 games is insane.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a Yankee hater and I can't help it, but I look at I'm not that impressed with this team. When Aaron Judge was out, they were a mess. They get Judge back and all of a sudden they start winning again, right? Like, I think they're too Aaron Judge and Stanton dependent. I don't trust this team at all. I think they're just hot right now. Am I a hater or do you agree with me?
You can call him a hater.
You can call me a hater. He knows. He does call me a hater. He knows.
I think you're a hater, but I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
All right.
They are very Judge and Stanton dependent. You look at what Stanton's done this year. He's on a 53 home run pace if he played 162. And don't get me wrong, we've seen that from him before, but we haven't seen that from him on the Yankees. Right. So I don't know how much I believe in their rotation. I don't know how much I believe in their lineup outside of those two. They do have a good bullpen. They made some good moves at the deadline, even though it has coughed up some games for them. It did kind of level out, I guess, until last night where it coughed up another one until they were able to bring it home in extra innings. But yeah, I just don't know how much I trust. 23 of the 26 guys on that roster. Max Fried has been pitching his worst baseball of the season, and you'll see him in this series. He's been basically 4 earned runs or more every single time out there. So the run differential would say believe in the Yankees, but the eye test and what we've been seeing, I get they're hot right now. But for the last month, 2 months, I don't know about them. I really don't know about anyone in the American League.
I was going to say, I feel like it's just tough overall. One day I feel like it's open, the next day I'm like, no, it's not. Everybody's fate has been sealed, but I can be a little dramatic. That's fine. Kind of getting this series going, Giolito to get the tap there. What do we need to see out of him to set the right tone for this team? Because Travis and I had a little bit of a debate last week. I kind of wish you were here for it, but he was a big advocate for the fact that the guys being on the road, working against them, the playoff atmosphere. And while I believe in that, I feel like that's where the mental of a team has to really come in stout, especially if you're going to make a postseason run. So how is Giolito going to set the tone?
Well, he's going to have to go 6 innings. It starts right there. It starts right there for all of their starters. And he's been able to do that pretty much since the first month of the season. He got his feet wet coming off surgery, and he's been as stable as they come. I know there were a couple hiccups after the All-Star break against the Padres recently with all the walks, but that was really, one tough inning of work. And then he was really able to bounce back against the Marlins. Obviously, the Yankees, not the Marlins. So it's going to take a little bit more to get 6, 7, 8 innings of 1, 2, 3, 4-run ball against those guys. But Lucas Giolito's pitched in big games. He's a seasoned vet. He's pitching for a contract. This is a guy that you feel good about when he takes the mound. And really, you can say the same about Bayo in Game 2, Crochet in Game 3, and then Dustin May in Game 4 has been pitching for the last 2 starts by his best ball of the season too. So really you couldn't ask for a better group of 4 guys to take on a hot team like the Yankees right now. And it really does start, as you said, with Giolito in Game 1. He's going to set the tone. You got to hold him at bay, give your offense a chance to give you a lead. Because when the Red Sox play with a lead, They are a good baseball team.
All right, Gordo, she went there. So I'll bring you into the debate, okay? She wasn't wrong. Her point was to win in the postseason, no matter the sport, you have to be able to win on the road. And no one's going to argue that, right? Where I was saying was the American League's so wide open that whoever gets home field will have the advantage. You look at these teams now, you tell me who you trust. Stop me when you trust somebody, because I don't trust none of them. Tigers are too young. Blue Jays, they were hot for a while too. They're coming back to earth, and Vladdy's banged up. Yankees, we just talked about. Astros, old. Red Sox, Mariners. All those teams right there, I could make a case for any of them to go to the World Series, but I guess my point was home field in the American League is likely going to dictate who goes. Do you agree with that?
I think it's going to play a huge factor, especially when you look at the Red Sox. Their home record 41-25, their road record 27-34. So home field's going to be a big factor, but really, I mean, I didn't stop you because I don't trust any team in the American League.
None of them.
It's going to be about who gets hot at the right time, which it often is in baseball. But in this American League this year in 2025, it really stands true. Yeah. There is no team in the American League that is head and shoulders above the rest. And that's why I think it's so important for the Red Sox, even if they don't get super hot and win the division and get a bye through the first round by having one of the top 2 records in the AL, they could still get that home wild card series at Fenway Park. You get through that. Yeah, then for the rest of the playoffs, you might not have home field advantage, but you'll play games at home and you're capable of winning games on the road. But to me, the key to this team making a deep playoff run is finding a way to get that top wild card spot. Bring any team to Fenway Park. I don't care who it is. I'm picking the Red Sox in that series.
Okay, let's stay here for a second. Be hot going into the postseason, you said, right? Likely in that wild card spot. I'm looking at their schedule right now, bro. Last 6 games. You're at Toronto for 3, and then you're home to end the season against the Tigers. Bro, there's no better way to get hot than to win, I don't know, 4 out of 6 of those. Like, you beat the Blue Jays in their building. That's a team you're battling with for playoff positioning. Tigers, another team battling with for playoff positioning. They come to Fenway. I mean, that it's right there, isn't it? If they get hot at the end of the regular season against those 2 opponents, you go in the playoffs with your chest poked out and your trap showing because you got some confidence, right, Gordo? Am I tripping?
No, you're not wrong at all. And before those series, you've got some really winnable ones against teams like the Pirates, the A's. Like, the schedule, it really is there for the taking for these guys. And when you get to the end with those 2 series against the Blue Jays and the Tigers, maybe they're not pitching their best guys. Maybe they are pitching their best guys and they're only going 4 innings trying to keep those arms fresh. But you're still feeling good about yourself, potentially beating those teams, going into the playoffs. You celebrate with some champagne towards the end, and let's see where it takes you. You know, like it's playoff baseball. Anything can happen if you're feeling good. And so, you're right there. Feel good about yourself beating those 2 teams at the end. Yeah. And really anything can happen. The sky's the limit. They could go anywhere.
Damn, Case, I'm going to bet on this baseball team, aren't I?
Of course you take it to betting.
I'm going to bet on them.
Before we get to the champagne.
This is what I do. I talk up the Sox.
Well, we're glad about it because that's actually where I was going next. Being new to New England, I'm being warned by Red Sox fans that they're a little trepidatious to get excited about this team. They're on a bit of a roller coaster. They're falling into the pit of, we're back to the August woes. And some of them are like, hang on. What's a realistic approach here? Like, help me so I can have a better conversation here. And I'm not gassing up Red Sox fans or I'm not, sympathizing for what they have been through. Give me a good gauge here. What's the reality of how this season can polish off?
Well, you're not wrong with what you've been hearing. I mean, the last few years, it's really been a lot of the same where, the team gives you hope. And then in the second half of the year, it really just falls apart. They don't have enough pitching and the season just gets derailed. And by September, they're not in it. Yeah. This year's, it's been different. Like in prior seasons, they've fallen apart by this point in time. Right now, they're 3 games up on a playoff spot. That is a lot different. Like at this point last year, they were 3-4 games out of a playoff spot. So it's a little bit different this year. In terms of your expectations, again, it's baseball. It's the American League in 2025. Like this team could go on the road in the postseason and lose 2 games and get bounced right away. or they could win that series and they could make a run to the World Series. It is as unpredictable with everything on the table as it has been in years. And, thank the playoff format for it. I don't know, but just there is a lot of competition in the American League, but nothing that feels unbeatable. So the Red Sox really could do anything.
Yeah.
Like, prepare yourself, because we could see a run deep into October, but you just don't know.
Gordo, it's funny you say that, because I actually think it's a win-win here, and here's what I mean. Unless there's a meltdown of epic proportions and this team doesn't make the postseason, in which we all know, the sky will be falling around here and someone will be held accountable. But I don't think the three of us think that'll happen. So if they make the postseason like all three of us think, I think it's a win-win, because if they go out quick, right? Look, the future's bright. You're set up. Exactly. All these guys are signed. Like, you're fine. Maybe you can make the case they were ahead of schedule. And then obviously if you're going to go on a deep playoff run, we all win. Let me ask you about the Yankees, though. I want a prediction from you for this series in this 4-game set. I think I'm going to be on the fence here. I'm going to go split. I just think the Yankees are too hot for me to take the Sox to win the series the way they're playing and the way the Yankees are playing. I think the Sox have shown me they're fighters. They'll scrap it out. They'll stay in these games. I think they grind their way to 2 wins, right? But give me your prediction for the series, and then tell me, is Yankees-Red Sox back? Like, is this rivalry now? We talked about the future and looking ahead. Is this back? Are we back to Yankees-Red Sox like we all grew up watching?
Well, I'll start with the series.
Okay.
I always say you're going to win the crochet game. I think you win the first game. The Yankees had an extra inning game last night, getting back to New York late. Their bullpen got used. So maybe this first game advantage Red Sox. Okay. So those 2 games, I'll say go to Boston, and I'll say they're able to get 1 more and take 3 out of 4. I know they've been cold. I know the Yankees have been hot. But when the Red Sox are cold and when people start pointing out, oh, they've lost 7 out of 10, that's usually when they turn it back around. And they know how big of a series this is in Yankee Stadium. So I'm going to say Sox take 3 out of 4. In terms of Sox-Yankees being back, I hesitate to talk about it being back until the players have bad blood, which we haven't necessarily seen. I know the fan bases have bad blood, and the fan bases want this rivalry to be what it has been in the past. But until we see some guys throwing at each other or some players jawing at each other, sliding into second base hard, taking a guy out, like until we see some of that, I'm not going to talk about the rivalry being back. I grew up on the 04 through 07 Sox-Yankees. It got crazy. It got heated. Every single time you knew something new was on the table to happen. It's not as much like that right now, but in terms of these 2 teams being competitors, you've got it. In terms of these 2 fan bases believing in their teams and wanting their teams to be great at the expense of the other one, you got that. So maybe if something happens in this series, we can talk, a little chin music on a fastball at some point, who knows? But I wouldn't say it's super back, but this series is super important, whether it's for just because it's Sox Yankees or for the standings, or if there's bad blood in the fan bases. Just Sox got to win this series, or at least come away with a split.
Yeah. Gotta rush the field.
He's right about the bad blood. There's nothing better. I still think Pedro throwing old man Zimmer down was the best ever. Nothing's topping that as far as I'm concerned. If we're getting that in this series, then it's definitely back. I'm with you. By the way, Gordo, it always goes back to gambling. Because of you, I will bet Red Sox money line tonight and Red Sox to win the AL. So thank you, sir. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
He knows me well, Case. I don't know. Hey, when we come back, by the way, fantasy football is approaching, so Case and I will attempt to get you ready for your fantasy draft. Her team's good. Meanwhile, mine could use some work.
Great.
Well, we'll talk about it next. Here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Thanks, Gordo. We love you, bro.